The New York Knicks, they're just 2 wins away from heading back to the conference finals for the 2nd straight season. And OG Anunoby, he is a huge reason why they're in this position, which is why it's so concerning that you see here he left last night's game with about 2.5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. He did not return, and now his status, it could have a major impact on who comes out of the Eastern Conference. So we're joined by our senior insider, Shams Charania here. Shams, what do we know about OG's availability here for Game 3?
Malika, sources tell me OG Anunoby has been diagnosed with a right hamstring strain. The good news for the Knicks and Anunoby is that I'm told he has avoided a significant or serious level strain of that hamstring, and he's going to be evaluated day to day moving forward. He's actually even listed as questionable for Game 3 in Philadelphia on Friday night, just depending on the level of treatment over the next 24 hours. But there's going to always be caution when it comes to soft tissue injuries for the Knicks and Anunoby, who's been a player that has been one of the top two-way guys so far of these NBA playoffs.
All right, so he's going to be listed as questionable for this Game 3 and day-to-day moving forward, but it seems like Shams, he's avoided some serious injury here, which is good news. We appreciate that update, but as Shams mentioned, you want to be careful with him because the Knicks, they have a history of not having OG Anunoby. Let's go back here to the 2024 Eastern Conference semifinals. The Knicks taking on the Pacers here in New York. They jumped out to a 2-0 series lead, and that's, again, in large part thanks to OG here. But then things would take a turn right at the end of Game 2. He suffered a left hamstring injury that would keep him out of Games 3, Games 4, Games 5, Game 6, and that absence really hurt New York. They would go on to shoot just 35% from 3 in games without Anunoby compared to 43% with him. And the Pacers, they would come back to beat the Knicks in 7 games. So let's go to more recent history here. This regular season, much of the same in terms of the Knicks missing OG. In the 15 games he was missed, the Knicks, they were just 8-7. OG led the Knicks starters in offensive net impact this season, meaning the Knicks outscored opponents by 6.2 points per 100 possessions with OG on the court here. So that brings us to today's Inside the Game, powered by AWS. So AWS total leverage metric. What that means, it measures the impact that a player has on winning on offense and defense using matchups and expected field goal percentage. That's a little bit of mumbo jumbo, but this is what's important. OG has been one of the most important players this postseason, right? He ranks 2nd in total leverage among individuals remaining in the playoffs. He trails only Chet Holmgren. So OG is day-to-day here. Brian Windhorst, Kendrick Perkins. Brian, he's listed as questionable here for this Game 3. If he is going to miss time, what's that going to mean for New York?
Okay, a few things about that.
First
off, teams typically don't 100% know when a hamstring injury because it's soft tissue.
Right.
Secondly, teams will do subterfuge in the playoffs. For example, in the last round, the Toronto Raptors listed Emmanuel Quickley as day-to-day and questionable with a hamstring injury. He never played in the series. Okay, so also, 2 years ago, OG missed 4 games with a hamstring injury, came back in Game 7, was completely ineffective, shouldn't have come back, but whatever. Earlier this year, he had a hamstring injury, he missed 9 games. So the Knicks probably have to prepare, and let's hope that it's not that serious and that he's able to come back. But the Knicks probably have to prepare to miss him for a little bit of time. And we know that it's important. Now, when I will say this, Perk, if you're going to have OG injured, do it when you're ahead 2-0 in the series.
Right.
Okay? And do it when this guy right there, that shot, Mikal Bridges is playing his best basketball of the season right now, and the Knicks overall are playing their best basketball of the season. So they have some margin for error here, and they can withstand this, but don't expect him to be fresh as a daisy anytime soon.
Yeah, y'all ever seen the movie Friday?
Of course.
I know every line.
Yeah, so you remember when Smokey
mess
was
with
like,
my emotions.
You remember when Smokey was like, I be playing mind games with Debo, right? This is one of them situations. I feel like the New York Knicks are playing mind games with the Philadelphia 76ers when they list them day to day. Because if I'm in the front office of the New York Knicks, it's nowhere in hell I'm bringing them back for 3 and 4. Like, it's not no day-to-day. No, you're out. We'll see you for Game 5 if you're available and if it's not that serious. But shout out to our producers and you, Malika, for pulling up that graphic about the importance of what he means to this team and his impact on both ends of the floor. Because one could argue that he might just be the most important player in the NBA to his team's success.
O'Brien was saying that he thinks he's the best two-way player left in the playoffs right now.
He's playing, I think, the best basketball of his career. Right now.
You know what? I can't argue with that. Now, we still got Wemby and Jaden McDaniels, but what I saw from him last night, especially when they went to that small ball lineup, he was playing the center position. And he did a damn good job at playing it. He allowed them to get out. It didn't affect them offensively. They had the spacing for Big Body Brunson to go to work. So again, the New York Knicks are looking like the favorite of coming out of the East. Let's be honest here, right? The Cavs, they have flaws. Detroit, right? And so when I'm looking at it, I'm saying to myself, like, hey, look, be cautious with this.
Right.
I wouldn't even, he wouldn't even get on the plane going to Philadelphia if it was left.
I think they take a bus.
Yeah, I think they might be driving. They might be driving to Philadelphia. Brian, real quick, so looking ahead to Game 3, where he is listed as questionable, but we don't know whether or not he's going to play. Who do you expect to slide into that spot if he is unable to go?
Good question. So they have a couple of different ways they can go. They can go with Miles McBride and play a little smaller because Mikal Bridges can slide down to really, a lot of people think he's a 3 anyway.
Yeah.
And then you can start big. You can put Mitchell Robinson and Karl Towns together.
But we know they're not afraid of playing the hack of Mitchell Robinson.
That's true. Some of it may depend on whether or not Joel Embiid plays. They may try to figure out whether they should play small or big. So there's some ways they could go. They could play Landry Shamet too.
Right.
Mike Brown has some options.
Yeah.
But I will just say that the Knicks are in a good. Obviously, you're going to lose a player. It's never a good time. But they are playing their best basketball. Bridges has a bunch of confidence right now. They can withstand. They can withstand this.
Well,
Not again.
yep.
Not again.
Stephen A. Talking Knicks, and he appears.
Thank you. What's up, y'all?
What's up?
What's up?
Oh, you're in a better mood, huh?
We're just talking about the OG injury.
It's not that bad.
Oh, we put him in a worse mood again.
Listen. Don't play him games 3 and 4.
That's what Brian was saying.
Don't play him games 3 and 4. Let him sit out. Worst case scenario is you coming back to the Garden tied 2-2. That's the worst case scenario. And I don't think that's going to happen. Somebody might step up. You might be able to steal one in Philadelphia. You do what you got to do to make sure OG is going to be all right because we need him to go to the finals.
Yeah.
We're not going to the finals without him. We need him to go to the finals. So you do everything you can to preserve everything for him. Therefore, he'll be ready for Detroit, I believe, who will beat Cleveland. I believe they'll beat Cleveland.
Okay.
So I'm going to need him for Detroit.
We were saying that he may be the single most, when you're talking about two-way players, that he might be the best two-way player that's left in the playoffs right now.
Might be.
Wemby obviously has a case for that.
That's right.
Jaden McDaniels, Kirk was saying.
And Jaylen Brown is home.
What Perk and Stephen A. are
That's out of left
saying,
field.
what Perk and Stephen A. are saying is act like a championship contender. If you got a team that's playing this well, act like you got to play 4 rounds. Act like you can withstand the loss of a key player.
Well put.
And hey, listen, they've won 5 games in a row. They're up 2-0. They're in great shape.
But Wendy, again, we're talking about the Knicks and their fan base. They're delusional.
Talk how you want to.
No, I know, but they need teaching. They're learning through this process on how to act like legit title contenders.
You being a champion.
I'm just saying, in certain cities that they just.
I will openly admit, we do get a bit beside ourselves. You know what I'm saying? They win a game or they win a series. Like when they beat Boston last year. Hell, I was at the Garden acting like we didn't win a championship. We do have to calm down. There is standards to meet. There's a difference between a championship and winning a playoff series. I get it. We got to calm down. But that doesn't mean we lack appreciation for what we're seeing from them offensively with Mike Brown putting the ball in Cat's hands and turning him into a facilitator and a playmaker, and Jalen Brunson off the ball, and Mikal Bridges finding a stroke, and OG being that wild card playing the way that he's been playing. The New York Knicks are looking like a team. They've looked like a team at least over 4 games. I'm not going to say last night, but the previous 4 playoff games, they look like a team that could win the championship. But that was against Atlanta and game 1 against Philly. That's not OKC. That's not San Antonio.
The best thing they got going for them is they won last night.
Yeah.
If they'd have lost last night, we would have had a different conversation. Now they have a margin for error. So
But
they
they
need to
didn't.
use it.
Well, let me say this. Now, we do got to highlight Big Body Brunson and what he's been doing in Philadelphia. And I ain't talking about winning the national championship. I'm talking about over the last 2 seasons. In Philly, he's damn near averaging close to 40. Like, real talk. So
Well, and that's
he's
where they're
real
headed.
cozy in that arena.
And they love him there because of his Villanova days. So it's like another
Well, that's
home
why
game.
Joel Embiid said this is like